You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Chris Voss here from the Chris Voss Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the earliest things that makes official. Welcome to the podcast. We certainly appreciate having you. For 16 years and 2,800 episodes, we bring in the Chris Voss Show, good with the most amazing authors, minds, and everything else for the show, your family, friends, and relatives.
Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind.
Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Today, we have a wonderful young lady, Anne-Marie Mulligan, joins us on the show. We're going to be talking about her book called A Chair in the Middle of Nowhere, The Adventures of Will and His Lucky Striped Socks. Welcome to the show, Anne. How are you?
Thank you, Chris. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Thank you, and thanks to us for tuning in. Give us your .coms, websites, wherever you want people, social media, emails, where you want people to get to know you better on the internets.
All right, ammulligan.com. I'm an artist, and that's where you'll find a lot of my paintings. Plus, I'm reading part of the book on there, too, so it's for both.
So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your book?
The idea behind the book is, and every book that's going to come after that, is to understand the little ones, especially to understand the different concepts that we have in life that we just adopt by ourselves. This is about sharing. So this little book can be can be read to any little one from even a couple of months old right up to 7 years old. And usually around that time, they kind of want to read something a little more. This is definitely a little children's book. And what it does is it gives the opportunity to the caregiver, the mother, father, the grandparent, to be able to connect with the child even as early as several months old, on the way to 7. And again, it's to introduce them to different life concepts. This little book is about sharing. It's about a baby dragon, and it's about Will and his lucky blue socks with the rainbow stripes. Because every time Will wears those socks, something magic happens. He can't figure it out. He just goes along for the ride. So his mom and he are in this car, and they're on the way to get groceries. And along the route, there are farmers' fields around them. They see a chair, and Will says, "Mommy, what's the chair doing there?" And she says, "A chair? Where?" She looks over. "Oh my goodness," she said, "you're right. It's a chair." So they pull over to the side of the road, and that's when they speculate on what a chair is doing there. And so one of the things Will says, "Let's see. Looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, but what reason could it be that a chair's there?" And one of the things he comes up with is the birds could land on it when their wings get tired, and they think some more, and little bunnies could come and be underneath the chair, and their fur wouldn't get wet. And then they go to little mice, and a mother mouse could chew a hole in the chair's seat, and she could make a nice, warm, snuggly home for her babies there. So that's what's going on. And they're just about to leave from the side of the road when they hear this clump, clump, clump. Next thing you know, they look out, and there's a baby dragon. And the baby dragon is walking towards the chair in the middle of nowhere. But he's also carrying a huge piece of chocolate cake with a candle in it on a plate.
Yeah.
So out they go. As his little animal friends, the birds are coming around and they know what's coming, and all the little animal friends are getting ready to meet this baby dragon. Sits on his big chair, and that's where all the little animals and birds and so on come to join him so that they can wish him a happy birthday and eventually partake in eating that beautiful chocolate cake.
Oh, chocolate cake. That's a feature right there.
Oozing with gooey chocolate goodies.
Oh. Now you talk. Go ahead.
So this was how the book is set up. And all the little animals and birds come, they enjoy the cake, and then they wipe all their crumbs off of them and say goodbye to the little dragon. And they all go back to where they were from. And the dragon hoists the chair over his shoulders and starts clomping back to the trees at the edge of the plowed field. And in the trees, we see two heads of two adult dragons. It's the mummy and the daddy making sure their little guy gets home safe and sound.
Oh.
And the interesting thing is, as they're watching, and the dragon, the baby, has the chair over his shoulder, he looks over like this to Will and his mom in the car on the side of the road. He knew they were there all along. And at that point, Will just looks down at his lucky blue socks with the rainbow stripes and said, wow, could these socks get any luckier?
Uh-huh.
And that's the end of the book. So that the concept of sharing is what this book is about.
Oh, the concept of sharing. What a great concept. Now, is this your first book?
Yes, it is. It's my first one. But it's interesting because the original publisher decided that they liked the book so much they want me to make this character like a series.
Ah.
So I'm working on the second and third books now. May take a little while, but that's okay. And this one just, the way this book came into being was just, it was magic itself. Because I was in the car and I was driving to go get my groceries, just me alone. And I saw this chair on the side of the road and I thought, what's a chair doing there? So I stopped and took out my phone, took a picture, and then I got back in and I started driving to the grocery store. And all the time I was buying my groceries throughout the store, I was, this book just came automatically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I drove home and I sat down on my computer and typed out the book. And of course, there have been a few revisions.
Yeah.
But the basic concept was there. And I know as a mother and a grandmother now how difficult it can be for little ones to understand the concept of sharing.
Ah.
You know, here are these little people, and you know, people are always doing things for them and giving them, you know, toys and books to read and so on and so forth to look at the pictures. But when it comes to sharing in a space where there are more children, they're not sure what to do.
Yeah.
They want to just hang on to whatever they're playing on with, and that's it. And the other guy can go bye-bye, right? So you have to teach them this life concept of sharing.
Yeah.
And
very important, sharing.
It is. And
I'm having that problem right now. I've got a new puppy, and he's 10 months old, and he's bigger than my 8-year-old dog. He's really huge. And when he first came, he thought everything was for him, and he would actually tear whatever treat I gave my other dog out of her mouth. And you know, if there was a little piece sticking out, he'd grab it, or he tries to grab two. And we've been having to work with him. Unfortunately, we can't speak to him and have him read your book. Sadly, he's not quite that advanced as a dog, but we've been trying to teach him that, you know, sharing is fine, and you can't have everything. And
exactly.
And it's a bit of a job. So yeah, I remember as kids, you know, I was the first child, so I hated when my siblings came along and I had to suddenly start sharing everything with them. I'm like, wait, they're getting toys too at Christmas? Those would all be mine.
Exactly.
I still think that way. So anyway,
Depends what the toy is, I guess.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If it's socks from Aunt Grandma, that's fine. They can keep the socks.
Another interesting thing about this book is when it came to actually putting it together, the editors said to me, you jump right into it, and maybe we should have a little something at the beginning to help people understand what's coming after that. So I thought to myself, okay, I wonder what that could be. And I thought about it for a little while, and all of a sudden it came to me. And here's what I put. With socks like these, Will knew he was bound to have a magical adventure. Like when he saw the bubble-blowing elves with umbrellas teetering on the diving board at the pool next door. And so it just gives them a little, a fun way to enter into this book. So what I'd like to do next is possibly take that concept of bubble-blowing, umbrella-holding elves and see what I can do with that with those lucky socks. So,
people love characters, and they love continuing stories through characters and continuing books. They love that. Yeah. When they like a character, they really fall in love with it. And so they like to see his adventures over a lifetime, usually, but if you can write a lot of books for it. So what age group does this appeal to most?
It's interesting, and that was the hardest part, was finding out the age group. And sometimes it's 1 to 7 years old, but usually by the time children are 7, they're looking for something a little bit more, not a little book that is for the lower age group. When my youngest granddaughter was born, I read her books right from the time she was a couple of months old, and she loved them. Oh, yes. She's a voracious reader. She's 8 now. And it's... At any point, I think, from 0 to age 7 or 6, you will have that child's attention as long as you make that book interesting enough for them, where they can also use their imagination to add to it as you're telling the story. And that's exactly what happens.
Oh, lovely.
It is interesting.
That's just wonderful, because you need to be able to know these things. And then, of course, you mentioned at the beginning something about why it's important to read to your children as adult, or be involved with them and reading to them as an adult, as a parent. Tell us about what that means, and why do you feel that's important?
Why do I? First of all, I had 2 children and now 3 grandchildren. So I believe that if you can give something to a child, or a child can be there with you and anticipating what's happening, it is going to stay with them for a long time. And the sooner you get it to them and make it the most interesting thing you can give them at the time, like a little book, you're going to grab their interest right away. And I found with my children that if you could get the book or read the book to them starting at a very young age, they go through life after that enjoying books. And so books of all kinds of books. So it doesn't matter what age they are. If you start them young enough, they'll probably enjoy reading for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Get them to read. That's awesome sauce. That's awesome sauce. It's my mom read to me when I was in the womb, and then she read to me after we birthed me. And, it's so important. It helps develop the mind, helps develop the imagination. Kids need that juice. They need, it helps them kind of learn life lessons of life and how life works. Yeah, it can be really important. Yes. For them to have that data as they go through it. So you see maybe a future series coming from this book. Is there any anticipated release dates or anything like that?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely. So they can follow you on your social media or website to find out more as it comes around. Yeah. Do you think adults would enjoy the book?
Oh, they would, actually. And that's another part of this, too. You'll see when you go on the website, I am reading the book. I was asked by a librarian who lives across the other side of Canada. I'm on the West Coast. She was near the East Coast. And during the March break, when children have the break from school, a lot of different programs are put into place for that time. And children love to come and listen to someone read them books. And so I was asked by her if I could record it and then send it to her, and she would play it to them. And that's why you hear me reading my story on my website.
That's wonderful.
Kids love adventure. They have wonderful imaginations. And the last thing you ever want to do with a child is to stifle that in any way. You want to expand that and give them the opportunity to start enjoying books on their own.
Oh, yeah.
The whole new world.
Yeah. I think it makes all the difference in the world and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, the quality of life is definitely much better when it comes down to that. Yeah, I just cannot stress that enough.
Yeah.
Was it hard to develop the characters? What was it like developing the characters to be interesting and real in this?
A little bit, just to get the actual prose. What was I going to write? I had the characters, I had the idea, and then how am I going to make them interesting enough so that the children will hold their interest as the adult is reading to them as a younger child. And I'm making it as child-friendly as I can. And so what happens is they'll stop and look at you as you're reading, and sometimes they ask questions, and you can answer their questions. It's a very, how do I put this? It's a very loving thing for an adult to do with a little one. They feel that connection. They also feel that excitement of the book because their imaginations just go wild. And before you know it, I had this book. I'm looking at it now, and it just all made sense. It just all fell into place, Chris.
Oh.
I was a little concerned about that. I liked the idea, but I wasn't sure how it was all going to come together. Let me just show you this. There's the dragon, and he's just about to see a piece of cake, and he's reaching down to one of the little characters. And so he's sharing. And that then, the visual part of that, the child also sees and starts to understand. And the child cannot stop the reading and ask you questions as you're reading the book to them. It becomes a very inclusive thing to do.
Yeah.
With someone you love.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that really makes a difference in developing kids' brains.
Yes.
Lessons are the ways that we learn stuff.
That's right.
And that's how we do it. And yeah, so I mean, it's a great development. What advice would you give to other aspiring authors, whether it's for children's books or other books? After your experience, what's some advice you would give to them?
All right. This is interesting too. It's very short and sweet. I have been wanting to write a children's book for a long time. As a matter of fact, I've already written, it isn't published yet, a cookbook for older children. And that's when your children go off to university and they are in a house, renting a home with others, and they take turns cooking, very simplified recipes that they can do. And it's not quite finished yet, but it will be soon. The other thing is, you just never know what's going to catch the attention of someone. And it's something that I love to do. And this little one, as I've said just prior to this, that it came to me so suddenly and so quickly. And it was fairly easy for me to put it all together and to write it, whereas other books may take longer. What advice I have, if you have a wish to be a children's book author, for an author of books. Think about it. Dwell on it for a little bit of time. Also, when you're out doing the most unexpected things, the book will start to come into your head, just like this little one did for me. On my way grocery shopping. I went around the supermarket, I bought my groceries, I drove home and sat down at my computer and typed out this little children's book.
Yeah.
You know, it can come from anywhere at any time, and just be open to it. Just be open and see what happens. So that's my advice. Have fun with it.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. Fun is fun. Fun is fun. So as we go out, give people your final thoughts and pitch to pick up the book and check it out.
Okay. It's going to be very soon. It's going to be available throughout the U.S., although right now it's on Amazon.com. And in Canada, Amazon.ca, and with the publisher. But not only is it going to be, it's being republished, so it's going to be looking a little bit different than it does now. But everything's going to be the same story and everything in it. And it's also going to be available through the British Isles as well as all through the States. So everyone will have a better chance to buy this little book. It's not too expensive, and read it to their little ones and get their imaginations going 100%.
Oh, yeah. Get their imaginations going and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun to have you on the show, and thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. I enjoyed speaking with you today. And
I enjoyed it too. So thank you very much, Ms. Mulligan. Order up her book wherever fine books are sold. A Chair in the Middle of Nowhere. The Adventures of Will and His Lucky Striped Socks.
Yes.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places in it. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
All right, Anna. Great job. Wonderful stuff.